Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hi!
Welcome back to the channel. It's John and Jenna from Flippin' Ain't Easy. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We had a pretty good weekend. Actually, it's juggling the business and our friends back and forth about 30 miles each way to the other side of the valley where they were staying, and just going out to dinner almost every night and
the reason they're out here is because of NFR. So every December, all of our friends come from New Mexico, California, and various other places, and they come out for NFR because they're big horse racing people.
That's National Finals of Rodeo, and they go out to the rodeo. I think they went on Saturday. We didn't go. It's I've gone before. It's not my cup of tea, but in town there's just thousands of cowboys and
and
cowgirls too, and it's just brings a lot of business into like the South Point. And there's they have what is called Cowboy Christmas, where they fill 3 hotel convention centers and the Las Vegas Convention Center with just different memorabilia, like cowboy or Western, country Western memorabilia and cool things that you can find and buy. I think that's going on through like the 11th of December, but they make it a yearly thing. So we make it a point when they get out here to spend time with them. Of course, I don't want to call, I mean, for lack of a better term, it's a distraction.
But it's a good
distraction, yeah.
Because we don't get many distractions during the year.
I mean, I don't mind doing it for really good people, and these are really, really good people, the kind of people that give you the shirt off their back. And it was one of those things where the first couple dinners, I mean, we had like 16 people, and you're like, okay, well, where's the check? And someone's already grabbed the check. And
then they fight for the check.
Yeah,
literally.
And they get mad at each other if they can't pay. So it's
funny.
So it's a nice time though. So we went to dinner last night, and they're gonna be going home on Tuesday. So we'll see them next year. We'll probably see them before then, but that's kind of a lot of distractions. But nonetheless, I've actually had a lot of listings that I've been able to do, finding time to juggle all that. But the topic at hand, I'm going to get to that here in a second. But before we begin, like we always do, if you're watching with us live, please participate, comment, post your questions if you have any in the chat. Without that, I'm just some old dude out here just talking to myself in front of a camera. Your participation is what makes this live stream work. So if you're watching after the fact, you just couldn't make it, hopefully you're listening or doing something productive while, you're doing all that. But please comment down below, and no matter how you're watching it, hit the like button, guys. That's all I really ask for.
Hold on one second. Shirla, yes, we are live. I hope everything's okay with the. Can you guys just comment that you see us live? Hey, we're live.
Yeah, I think we're live.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, sometimes watching me is like watching grass grow. So it's like, hey, is this dude even like talking yet? So I wanted to talk to you about, I received a message from a viewer, the Monster Loon, and the Monster Loon usually is on the lives, but I just wanted to talk about this subject, and I'll kind of, I think I wrote it out best in the description of the video here, or the live stream. And oops, hold on, let me get to it here, because I just think it's that important, because I think our mindset as sellers really needs to be on the right path. And let me just say this before I kind of get into what I was going to say. I had my other account. I was selling collectibles, and in selling collectibles, that was my fun account. Okay. I had a very lax policy. I didn't even require anyone to give me immediate payment at any time. And oddly enough, with that type of buyer, and I should say shopper, because I'll get to that in a second, or customer, I didn't have to really deal with any non-paying buyers. Like I didn't have a layaway program, because all the buyers that I dealt with, and we're talking hundreds of transactions, eventually, after they were done, like, hey, let me look at more of the stuff. If you're going to post some more stuff, give me some more time. They communicated and they eventually paid. Okay. And I just thought it was just amazing how I didn't have a cutthroat policy, and yet these people were paying, and it was awesome. It was smooth, and I didn't have any issues in that. But I made a video months ago talking about this type of customer is very much different from the type of customer that most other eBay sellers have to encounter. And I guess the type of customer that we're left with. And it's, so if you guys are selling collectibles, you guys are blessed in that you have, for the most part, a very good type of customer who doesn't open a lot of returns. They know what they're looking for. They're very communicative. They're easy to work with. And I think the easier your policies are, the more lax your policies are, the more welcoming your store is, and people gravitate towards those type of buyers. But if you sell pretty much everything else, and I mean, under my main store, we're talking shoes, electronics, home goods, you name it, clothing, you name it, it's all in my store. And it's like pulling teeth to get people to pay. You can reach out to them and communicate. You can do all these things. Now, here's kind of my message, and I'll just kind of read what I wrote because I don't think I can say it any better than the way I wrote it. Sellers need to change their mindset. Many sellers are way too nice when it comes to dealing with shoppers. By the way, let's stop calling these people buyers if they haven't bought anything yet. Until they pay, they're simply shoppers, not buyers. You can call them customers, I guess, but they haven't bought anything. So why are we calling them buyers? With that said, sellers allow their feelings to get involved in the business. Some sellers feel bad if they pay less for the shipping label than what the buyer paid. Businesses make money on shipping every day, and they're happy to do it. If the buyer accepts the terms and conditions of the sale, including shipping, they have no grounds to stand on when they leave a negative feedback for the seller using that reason, since they agree to the price in the first place. So you can easily get that negative removed if they say shipping was too high, price was too high, or they overcharged me for shipping, whatever. Sellers who receive multiple offers should not feel obligated to one shopper over another. Shoppers have no obligation to the seller, and the seller has no obligation towards the shopper until they become a buyer. And so this kind of leads me back to the Monster Loon message me, and they state, I have a somewhat related situation I was thinking I'd ask about in chat, but I haven't caught a live stream since it happened. I recently received an offer on an item which I thought was a little low, so I countered on the offer. The next day, I received another offer on the same item, which was not only better than the first offer, but the same amount that I countered on the first offer. When the second offer came in, my counter to the first offer was still pending, so I decided to wait to see if I got a response from the first buyer or the first shopper. The first buyer did eventually decline my counter offer. Let's see, I lost my place. The first buyer did eventually decline my counteroffer, after which I immediately accepted the second buyer's offer. I'm curious what you or your viewers would do in this situation. Would you immediately jump on the new, better offer, or did I do the ethical thing by giving the buyer with the pending counteroffer a chance to respond? So it just kind of made me think about how sometimes we're too nice as sellers. Most of us are running a business to make money because we need the money. There's some of you out there who run the business sort of the way I ran the other store, where I kind of had a lax policy and I didn't even care because I kind of knew what kind of buyer I was getting. So my answer to that question is that there is no real ethical way to there is no ethical way to handle that situation. A lot of it has to do with how you are set up and as a business. But if you are just running a fun little business on the side, then do what you want. I mean, give money back. Wait it out. If you get an offer and you feel like I might get a better offer, but I'm going to give this first person a chance, that makes you feel better as a seller, then by all means do that. But if you're truly trying to run your business as a business, you cannot have that mindset. Okay. If you charge, let's say $15 a ship an item, and it costs you, when you plug everything in, it's only $11. You have to consider your time. If you're taking the packages into the post office or UPS, your gas, your supplies, your tape, your bubble wrap, your boxes, you name it. Okay. That has a value. And if you just give them exactly the difference back, you're still absorbing that cost. Okay. And there's so many people that feel bad. Let's get our feelings out of the mix here. Okay. If you go into Walmart with the problem, I just say Walmart randomly, but if you go to any store with the problem, nobody's putting their feelings out there. Okay. They're going to handle it based on the policy, and that's it. Okay. If you get a better offer, it's like having a Black Friday sale. You got 10 televisions and the mob comes running in there, but someone really wants it. They expressed a desire to buy that item, but yet they don't show up. Well, I wouldn't hold one for them. I mean, no business would. So you got to run your business and put your feelings and emotions aside. And I think, it's easier said than done. There's a lot of nice people out there. I mean, I'd like to think of myself as being a nice person. Hey, does it count when I get a Mercari sale on this broadcast, by the way?
Of course, a sale's a sale.
Yes, the way things have been going. A shiatsu shoulder massage.
We got a Poshmark sale earlier.
Yeah, it just seems like we're getting more stuff on those platforms right now. So, guys, I want to know what you think on that topic. But there's nothing wrong with being a nice person and standing by your policies, standing by the amount you charge a buyer. And a lot of times us nice sellers get caught up in the whole partial refund shakedown. Someone contacts you and they say, oh, I have a problem with this item. Okay, now they should know that there's a return policy, yet they are sort of pushing at wanting some kind of remedy. And us nice people tend to say, oh, well, here, let me just give you some money back. Okay. And I think unless you can identify that you've really screwed up, I think it's just bad practice, and it sets a bad precedent for the rest of the sellers who are trying to follow eBay's policies and procedures. So, easier said than done. Put your feelings aside when you're running your business. And I don't know what you have any thoughts on that, honey, but I was compelled to talk to you guys about that today. So
I feel the same way, but it took some time to learn that because I am a feeler. My feelings are
not that kind of
are rampant. And I feel bad for people. They'll message you and they say whatever, and I'll fall for it. But after many years of doing this over and over again, I've kind of gotten a harder shell, and he'll tell me, oh, we got an offer for this, and I'm like, hell no. I'm like,
how many times have you, I mean, I've been doing this full time now going on 3 years. We've been doing it full time going on 3 years. How many times someone make an offer or accept a best offer, they'll message you saying, hey, I don't get paid till Friday. And then Friday comes and they ain't around. They didn't buy your item. Okay. Now, who knows what happened? Chances are they might have went on and just bought it when they got their money from someone else. But these shoppers, and that's all they are until they pay, they're just shopping until they give me money. And that may sound harsh, but at the end of the day, we're trying to run a business here, and we're not a charity. So that's the topic of the day. Hopefully you guys can chime in on that. And maybe if I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong. But that's kind of how I feel. And also for those of you who deal with those great buyers, and I'll call them buyers because most of them do buy, those buyers of collectibles, and maybe there's other categories that I missed, but just from my experience with the records, the old vintage records, the military memorabilia, and things of
Those
that
people
nature.
pay. They know what they want. They come in and they make the payment.
Yeah, and we're talking people.
It's the other people that are coming in and looking around, and then they see it. They go and they buy yours, but then eBay goes and throws them, and oh, you may have missed this, and it's the same item, just 2 pennies cheaper. It is very annoying.
Well, okay, so let's see who we have here. We have Prosser. He's like always the one that shows up early. So thanks, Prosser, for showing up.
Prosser and Sandra.
Sandra was here, and then Tyler even got here early.
Tyler's on time,
and even Carol in Bling Bling Factory Australia got here early. So thanks, guys. I appreciate that. And then we have Picky Ricky's in the house. Says he's having a great start to December. Well, that's really great. After I saw you put that comment in there before we got started, and it compelled me to look. And it's easier to look at the app when you're doing this. And I mean, I have like 670 listed now. I mean, I've gone up like 100 and something in the last like couple weeks. And my solds in the last 90 days are still over 600, which has historically been sort of the bar for me. If I'm under that, it's kind of like, oh no, this is not good. And if I'm over that, great. I want to get closer to 700. And I've noticed it's my ASP, my average sell price, is what's killing me. And I need to do something. And it's a lot of it's the stuff that I'm selling. I realize that, but that's awesome that you're having a great start to your December. Let's see. We also have Ed is in the house. Thanks for hanging out with us, Ed. Emporium, etc. Jim is in the house. Tiffany M. Law is in the house. And then Picky Ricky says, I won $1,000 in Vegas and got mugged out of my pocket later that evening in a nightclub. Oh,
wow.
So yeah, stay out of the nightclubs.
It's a common thing.
Sadly. Yeah, I kind of get, if I win like a chunk of money, like let's say anything over $500, I'm kind of feeling like, how do I get out of here to my car without any crazy people? You just never know. I like to valet, pay a few bucks to the valet driver, just for them to, bring your car up. And that kind of works for me. And you're kind of the safer play, but unfortunately that had to happen to you.
We don't do nightclubs. Not anymore.
No, this dude don't know.
Those.
Well, I never had those days.
Well, you didn't. I did.
Ed says, eBay caught up to my Poshmark sales last weekend, but I think you're right that Posh just has less competition with some of the stuff I sell. Less competition. But again, those stupid shoes that I have, I think I'm down to like 260 pairs. I mean, they're selling.
Hey, the pile's getting smaller, and that's all I care about.
But I have those shoes on eBay for $7.99 plus shipping. Poshmark, it's $12, and you would be surprised to know that I've probably sold more of those shoes on Poshmark than we have on eBay. And just took an offer earlier today for $10. So it's like, fine, you want to pay for shipping? Give me $10. I'm into these shoes for like 50 cents. You're welcome to do that. So let's see. Sherry Miller's in the house. No relation. I just gave you my last name. OC Sales Online. Hi, can you explain how you guys got started? And when did you guys decide to quit your full-time jobs? Do you guys receive a pension? And what about healthcare? These are all topics.
Yeah, those are, well, to break it down. Just give them a quick rundown. We used to work for Amtrak.
Oh, well, I don't need to give the name.
Yeah, you do. You always do. And you wear the merch all the time. Okay. So anyway, we used to work for Amtrak. We worked there. I worked there for 15 years. He worked there for 27. Almost 27. And they decided in 2019 or 2018 to give us a 60-day notice. Yeah,
they're shutting down they had 2 call centers. So we have a call center background. So they had 2 call centers. There's one still open on the East Coast in the Philadelphia area, and the one in California. They decided one day that they were just going to shut it down. They gave everyone a 60-day notice and pretty much said, you have the option, if you're in management, which I was, she wasn't, you can either take a pay cut and step down, exercise your seniority, it's a union shop, and move out to Philadelphia. And of course, they would have paid, whatever expenses to do that. Then you can do that. Otherwise, you basically can step down as like a severance package. And she got a little bit. I got like 6 months salary, and that is it. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
So
So we severed our ties with Amtrak. We were doing eBay and selling on the side as a part-time thing anyway.
Yeah.
John's been selling on eBay for a long time.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing this for a long time. But when our office got shut down, we made the choice it was either find new jobs in the corporate world or go in with eBay full-time and just go in guns blazing. And we did. And here we are.
And it was one of those things that we kind of decided. I mean, when we got the notice, I was looking for other opportunities, and I have a pretty good resume. But as far as the opportunities that I saw between maybe trying to start over again and just continue what I was doing, but on a full-time basis. Now, when I say part-time, it was like maybe one weekend I'd list, and like couple weekends later I'd list. It was not anything serious, and I wasn't making a lot of strides in reselling, but we'd buy a pallet here and deal with stuff there, and that's kind of what we did. And it was more just of a hobby type thing, even though it brought in extra money. But it's a different reality when it becomes your way of making a living. And so that's kind of how that got started. And then, so we never quit our jobs. I have we're both vested in the railroad. I think after 10 years, you get vested. And then, I mean, well, yeah, okay. Well, I'm 26 years, I'm fully vested. So I have to wait till I'm 67 to collect. Now, had I worked another 4 years, and this is the whole thing, this is what was torn. If I had worked 4 more years, where I had 30 years in the railroad, then I could have retired at 60. So it just wasn't worth. All of our family was out in the West Coast. It wasn't worth the move, and she hates the cold weather anyway. So for me,
I don't mind cool weather like what we have here in Las Vegas, but I do not like snow.
But there's some things that just aren't worth the money. Okay, you can get it. I guess money makes things easier, right? But being around family, being with family, being able to be around my dad the last few years of his life, there's no price on that. Okay, I mean, I would have felt horrible if after we moved out there and they not be able to have that time. These are all things that you have to consider. If you have a job right now that you absolutely despise, it's paying the bills, you're getting by, but you absolutely hate the drive, the people you work, whatever it is, still don't quit your job. That would be my advice to you guys. If you're thinking about maybe doing this part-time, you're thinking, hey, I can make this is not the time to make that kind of a decision.
Yeah,
guys.
right now is not a good time.
I would wait until things get much better. Continue doing it part-time. See how things are doing for you with your sales. And if your sales are just taken off, then that's a decision that you can make. But as far as like healthcare, let me just tell you something here. There's all kinds of healthcare plans, but based on, the amount of money that we made, I think we looked at it last year, and they look at your tax returns from the previous year and all that. The plan that they were trying to set us up with, we had a rep on the phone, enrollment time is about this time of year every year. And they're, on the phone saying, hey, this is the plan that we can do for you. And it was like $800 a month. So they had to divvy out $800 a month. And then I think you got like a checkup here and there for free or whatever. But anything above that and beyond that, you had to pay out of pocket for the first $5,000. Okay. Before the 70-30
per person.
Yes. Before the 70-30 split kicks in. So basically you pay 30%, they'll pay 70 along with your copay. But it's like, if you think about it, most people don't spend $5,000 in healthcare. It's more of a catastrophic healthcare situation to avoid it. Like if I get hospitalized, then I don't have to worry about but the first $5,000. And then to say, okay, $800 a month times 12, that's like what, almost $10,000 out of pocket for the privilege of paying $5,000.
Just to be able to say you have health insurance.
Yeah. And so it's like, no, we do the med health. So whenever we like have something, we pay like $50. We go online, we pay like $50. We consult with the doctor, and then they you hear whatever we have going on, or I think one time it was like video, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll say, okay, I'm going to prescribe you this. Go on and pay your $40, $50 for the prescription, and have a good life. So that's been the way it's worked. I think I've used it twice. Knock on particle board. Same kind of thing with her. So
yeah, I take medication every day, and it's a prescription. So I have a virtual doctor who does my prescription and refills it. I get a 3-month supply. Yeah. So
hopefully that answers your questions. It's a tough decision to make, but full-time shouldn't be something that someone seeks to do unless they're just absolutely killing it. And I'm not sure that this is the market.
Unless you're already in it. I mean, if you're already in it, continue. But just if you have a full-time job and you do this on the side, right now is not the time.
So we got It Works. I wish you would tell me how to pronounce that, but I'm sure it's something.
Come on, tell us.
I mean, I really want to sell you a couple of vowels here, but okay. It Works. Effer. I don't know. Hi guys, nice to see you. How's the Bonanza going, John? Hope you're having good luck with it. Bonanza's, it's cool. You know what? To be honest with you, I like the way it's laid out. It's a nice little representation of my eBay store without the sales. So
there's no sales.
There's no sales. There's no sales. Mm-hmm. But I like the layout. I know it's, if I want to say something nice about it, I like the layout a little bit better than eBay. Just personally, the way they have when you look at your store, it's all like in gallery format. I kind of like that. We have Art Betzold in the house. Kevin from Hawthorne from Lakeland, Florida. Kevin's always with us. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Hey, Kevin.
Mark Suddick says hi there to both of you. Please tell us your eBay sites. Thanks. Value Trends with the V. So VALUETRENDZ, not S, Z, all one word. And I'm not sure if I have a link in the description. I thought I did, but I may not. So that's my store. That's our main store, our only store. We actually transitioned over our other side store, kind of our play store, because for me, it's just easier to manage one store. I mean, we're doing the cross listing stuff, but like for instance, I get a notification on my phone, like when one of those items sell on another platform. But when it sells on my other account, because I'm only logged into my main account, there's times that I'm not seeing that I was getting sales. And so I thought, you know what? I don't want to babysit and log in, log out, find the hills or find the cat, and
the traffic light.
Yeah. And, find the crosswalk. And it's like every time it's just, I didn't want to play that game back and forth. So I just basically said enough is enough. We're going to be canceling our store on that. I think it's a $22 store or whatever. So I'd rather just put more time, more money, more focus into the main store and just build on that. Emporium, etc. says, thanks for the reminder about shipping policies of the day. Mine are a mess as I've never cleaned out the included policies. eBay jams in there. It's crazy. As soon as I got rid of that crazy mystery policy, and I had a video, I don't know what happened to it, but I was going to make a short video and show that eBay was, as soon as I selected my immediate pay policy, they went in there and they changed it to this weird policy that didn't require immediate payment. I don't know why, but it was like a 3-second wait after you got out of that screen, and it, boom, changed it over. So I thought I got rid of it, and guess what? There's another one that popped right up. So who knows? It's a bug or maybe it's intentional. I don't know. But the Disgruntled Octopus says, morning all.
Good morning.
Good morning out there in Australia. Raul Solis says hello. Thanks for hanging out with us, Raul.
Hi.
Let's see. Charlotte, Lauren, if eBay live yet, or is eBay live yet? No, well, I mean they're live, but it ain't hopping. I mean, it's not. Let's see. The Tommy Bernard podcast is Will You Look Alive, Jenna? Jury's still out on John. This is the best you're gonna get. So
this is it.
Yeah, this is the best you're gonna get. The older I get, the slower I'm gonna get too. You know, it's like this is I didn't have this on the last. You guys look like, what the hell is that? This is my Mio, and I added some. It's like a sugar-free thing you add to water. I swear to you, if you guys are feeling like an hour ago, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this live because I'm not feeling right. I took this stuff right now and I'm like a totally different person. So, and I'm probably showing a little bit more energy than I did on Friday.
Yeah, you can tell. Well, I can tell, and you probably will tell now that he told you that that's what he drinks.
Yeah,
but
that's good stuff.
He does it before a live because he comes alive, and like this morning he was bleh.
Yeah, I mean I was dragging on Friday, guys.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
And then you know, to have to shoot out or to run to dinner and all that, it was just it's been a very busy week.
It's been a very, very busy week.
Let's see. Brought to you by is in the house.
I can see a talking 4-leaf clover.
Is that me?
Yeah. Remember we asked if they could see it was live, and he said,
"Oh, okay."
Your 4-leaf clover's talking.
Let's see. Aurora 3K is right on time. Thanks for hanging out with us. Michael Biddle from Utah says, hi, John and Jenna. This weekend was crazy with sales, all the low sales, but still was good to have sales. So now you hear me complain about sales. I call it the Santa bag. If you guys see the USPS, those bags they give you, if you never have, they'll give you a tote. I'm sure most of you guys have seen the tote, like for USPS use only. And they have this huge bag that can only equate to like what Santa would use, and fill that thing up every weekend. But, you know, I'm used to the higher dollar ASP sales. That's the only difference between a good year right now. Well, not right now, but last year or the year before. And now for me, it's just the ASP is just so low. Let's see. Piggy Ricky says, I spend 300 pounds at the wholesalers today, just turning over the cash I made the weekend. That's business. Yeah. You know, nothing like going to the yard sales, spending $200-300, or in your case, pounds, and, you know, 3-4x in your money by the end of the week. And that's something that we've been doing like September, October, but not so much after the end of November. Let's see. Ping G says, I had 6 sales of the weekend. That was great. And see, that's all perspective. See, for you, that's great. You know, that's an improvement on maybe what you're expecting, which is why you're saying it was great. For me, we had like less than 20 sales, and that's for the weekend, and that's not great. So, you know, usually I'll have close to 30 on a good 30 plus sales from Friday afternoon to Sunday night, and that's not there right now.
3 layaway.
Yeah, 3 layaways cancels today. Yeah, those shoppers, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Biff says, I do almost 800 transactions per month in collectibles and no problems with my clients.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. Now I'm wondering, Biff, how many items you have listed in your store? So I think it's great. There's a lot of sellers out there who could do better. I mean, and I'd say better thinking they're kicking my butt. But you know, I talk about this on a few of the lives, but got to find ways to increase your sell-through rate compared to what you, and I guess that's what the sell-through rate is, as compared to what you have listed, the number of sales, because the last thing you really want to do is have a thing where for every 400, and let's say for every 500 you have listed, you only get 1 or 2 sales. That's not good. You don't want to just list. And, you know, here I am, I'm increasing the size of my store, but you can't really list your way out of things. I think, I just think you have to improve the quality ASP of the items that you're actually posting. And hopefully I can come across. It's always been sourcing for me, guys. You know that sourcing's been my thing.
We need to do better at that.
Well, just the opportunities just aren't.
Right.
And that's why, a lot of people, they watch these videos, they watch these channels, and I think it leaves them with an impression that they can do better than, or the same as the person that's on the screen in front of them. But their situation's different. I mean, you might only have 5 hours a day. You might only have a couple $100 a week to spend on your business. You might, you might have a different situation in sourcing. That's my situation. Someone might be killing it because they have a better situation with their sourcing. So I think I'm making the best of my current situation, which is much to be desired, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys. Ping G says, I haven't had a non-payer or a layaway artist in probably 5 years. That's awesome.
That's good.
Semperfi says sales are picking up. And then we have Purple Cactus Sales. Hello, just made it to chat. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
I like that name. Purple Cactus Sales.
That's kind of like Hot Desert Deals, huh? Kind of. Yeah. Okay. Picky Ricky says, I blocked the guy last week who made me send him extra pictures on 2 pounds DVD. It was meant he still didn't buy, so I blocked him.
Yep, I would have too.
Yeah. Block those shady shoppers. Who's your pick says, good evening, John and Jenna, FAE family. The Purple Fox, so another purple character here.
Purple Fox. Yeah. Everybody likes purple.
Thanks for catching the live. Who's your pick says, I have had 3 layaway artists in the last couple weeks. Frustrating. Ed says,
speaking of layaway, did that person buy my Apple Watch?
No, they put it aside. They put it in their.
I take it personal.
They put it in their virtual cart and moved on. They probably.
So did it get relisted?
I relisted it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did the little phony deal where you do the drop down, buyer never paid. That does absolutely nothing, but it gives you an extra option so it doesn't fall back on you as a seller.
Yeah.
And it's up for sale. It's
okay.
I mean, it hasn't sold yet. It's been a few days since then, so we'll see if it sells. Ed says, I'm only nice to the buyers who send me no messages. Don't leave love notes in the message section of offers and just buy with very little engagement.
Yeah, we like little or no engagement.
Yeah.
The only engagement I want to see is your credit card.
But, here's the thing I don't mind. If someone's messaging you and says, hey, I just bought this item and I'm interested in buying more of it. You got any more of it? You might have more of it that's not listed. I love those kind of buyers. Those kind of buyers who are interested in buying more, right? But the shoppers that don't pay, no. Tommy says, there is no ethics in reselling. I stole $20 from my mom at her funeral, the flip items from the general store next to the funeral home.
Jesus, Tommy.
And I know that's not true, but just the fact that you'd say that. Picky Ricky says, I don't do offers and I normally reject offers into my mailbox. I just stuff at
my inbox.
Okay, my inbox, same thing. I list my stuff at good prices already. Yeah. That's good. And that, of course, some people can just take lowball offers, or, if you're into an item for $1, you got it listed for 20 and they offer you 5 to 10. I mean, and that thing's been sitting in your store for months, maybe $5 plus shipping is worth just freeing up space and moving on from that item. So certainly. But if you have that thing priced at 5 or 10, just to move on, and you can do that, that's also a good thing. Shirley says, amen. I don't know what for, but at least we said something good. I've had 60-day free returns and non-immediate payments, forever minimal issues, if any. But you're selling collectibles. I just by looking at the name, postcards. And, these people.
Postcards collectibles?
Yes. And you have, they're very collectible. And, these people know what they want. They know what they want. They know what they're willing to pay. They don't play the games that your basic everyday everything buyer is, or actually the shopper is going to.
That would explain when we were at the bins, that lady picking out all of those postcards at the bottom of the bin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know there was money there. I mean,
Well, you got to know what you're looking for. So if you just go randomly, just grabbing, any kind of thing, I mean, I don't think that's going to fly. But I mean, there's a lot. I'm sure SM Postcards has a lot of listings, and you're waiting for that buyer that's looking for what they what they want. I mean, just a different type of person altogether that you're looking for. Picky Ricky says offers and auctions just bring payment issues. They don't pay, and you lose your watchers. Screw that. Yeah. The formula that, I'm always thinking about, how to provide the best balance when you create your listing. And I only do it now because sales are so slow. And I say slow, I mean, because my ASP is low, I'm trying to increase my sales. I mean, that's the only way to do it unless you increase your ASP. And that 100% has to do with your sourcing. So right now I'm focused on finding many ways to get more eyes on my listings and more opportunities for the shoppers to buy my item. Okay. When things normalize, and ideally what I'd like to do is when I make a listing, I don't have offers to watchers on. And then once that item's about to recycle, my daily process where I go in and in the listing sell similar, okay, then I'll add offers to watchers. I will, of course, lower the price somewhat, and then I'll cross post that item, but only after eBay's had 30 days at what I feel is a market price. But you can have all the market value you want. You can have an accurate priced item, and you're still not guaranteed to get the sale. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking of being my routine. But right now, it's just all hands on deck, putting everything out there, and just trying to move the stuff right now. Ping G says, I allow my buyers to 7 days to pay. Most pay same day or within 3 days. No other communication at all. And yeah, like what I do what I did on the other account is someone would buy daily. I would go in and look at all the people that had bought or said they were going to buy the item, at that point shoppers, and I'd go in and I'd send an invoice saying, hey, reach out to me. Here is the price for this item, but we have other items out there. If you're looking at other items, you're waiting for other auctions to end, because I did some auctions on that account too. Please let me know, and I'll give you whatever time you need. Just communicate with me. And that type of buyer, they were always, hey, yeah, I'm looking at 4 or 5 other auctions or other items, and plan on, when that ends on Sunday, I'll pay you. And it was great. And not a single, it's so strange, not a single person did I have to cancel due to non-payment. And it's too bad that the rest of the buyers aren't like that. So for those of you who sell that type of item, and maybe there's a type, like I said, that I'm missing where the buyers are very similar, you are very blessed to have that type of person and the lack of headaches. There's a reason that a number of folks that sell collectibles and things like that will come back and say, I don't have returns. I don't have return problems. These people don't return my item. And it's
a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's not a problem at all.
No.
Tommy says the crazy thing is every week hundreds of resellers complain about taking best offers. It is not mandatory, not necessary to turn them on. Why do people love to inflict pain on themselves? Well, for me, it's just okay. If you're looking for a way to move your stuff, and for me, it's always been, I'm into these items for under $5. And a lot of them are anywhere between $15, $30 is kind of where I'm at. So if they come at me and I have the item price, let's say $20, and they come at me and say, $10, which is what they do a lot of times, I'll consider a lot of factors. Did I just recently list this item? Did I, is this thing been sitting on my shelf for the last 6 months? That type of thing. Before I'll accept the offer or maybe even counter the offer. But it gives you an opportunity to have one crack at converting a shopper into a buyer than you had if you just didn't communicate. You turn those things off, you're not communicating. Now, it's 100% based on the type of item you're selling. So I'll use the analogy that, Tommy, you use all the time. If you have a bunch of iPhones, if that's all you do is sell iPhones, you don't need any of that stuff. I mean, you don't need any things like you don't even need promoted listings for that matter. You don't need all those things because you have high demand for those items. I was selling before promoted listings was even a thing. I mean, I was just selling AirPods like crazy. I had two back-to-back $25,000 sales months back in 2019, and it was just because I had great stuff to sell. So you shouldn't be, like Tommy said, you shouldn't be utilizing those tools if you have great stuff. It just doesn't make sense. But I'll be honest with you, I sell crap, and I sell junk crap.
It's not all crap,
but it's junk crap. I mean, if I could compare what I'm selling
right
now to what I sold 2 years ago, it's night and day, total different. And I can't beat myself up for it. It's just that, like, pallets, for instance, aren't what they used to be. Bottom line, they're well picked through, whereas before you'd get organic pallets that were just filled with great stuff, and it's just night and day difference. So now I'm transitioning from the pallet game, where I'll still look for pallets and we'll still buy pallets once in a while, to the yard sale game, and it's totally different. I'm happy to have all those shoes, but I realize that right now is probably not the best time of year for used shoes. That's just my opinion from what I'm seeing. We'll make a sale on shoes, maybe one or two pairs a day. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. It's not, to me, the greatest thing, but I guess if I added more product, if I got more of those items listed in my store, and it's more about just taking the time to clean those darn things. And
that's our biggest problem, is the cleaning part.
Yeah.
We did order, what was the name of that stuff?
Let me forget the thing.
FX.
It's something like that.
It's somebody recommended it, and
it's a bald short guy that's scrubbing the shoes. Well, he was.
John.
What's wrong with bald short guys? He's a bald short guy scrubbing his shoes. I don't know, the FZX or whatever.
I don't know what it's called, but he finally bought it, and I can't wait, because I am tired of using every concoction known to man, including all of the ones that you great people have recommended. Mm-hmm. And on some of those shoes, it just doesn't work.
Not so great, but this guy makes it look like,
he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, and it's like, all right,
I'm hoping.
All right, so we're gonna give that short guy a chance. All right, you act like I called him a leprechaun or something.
I think it'd be better to go.
Jeez, because it's a mind game for buyers, Tommy. Just make them think they're getting a deal when they and I think that's right.
Yeah.
One thing about sales, and of course I talk about it before, but I've been in sales all my life. It's about perception. And I know we talk about, get your feelings out of it. That's your feelings. Okay. We want the buyer to feel good about the purchase that they're making. Right. So if they feel like they ripped you off, like, oh, this guy, he was selling it for 30. I got him to give it to me for 15, and you're only into it for $1. They don't know that, but they feel like they got a steal. Then they're happy. You've had it in your store for 6 months, and they don't know any better, and they are pleased as can be because they think they got a deal. And whereas the buyer that leaves someone a negative feedback because they paid too much, which of course you can get removed. It's a world of difference. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't have your offers turned on, but they reluctantly, I need this particular whatever. They paid the $30, couldn't get it for 15. Reluctantly, they got it, and they're still not happy because they didn't feel like they got a good deal, if that makes sense. So it's all about buyer perception. Yeah. Trina's fetal alcohol baby. And that's just horrible. I love it when Jen is here.
Thank you.
So you got a fan. You got a lot of fans, by the way. You get a lot of people that say they really love it when Jen is on the show.
Why?
I
don't see the excitement in my presence. I guess.
You need to start because you got fans. I felt the same way because I don't let this show get to my head. 15,000 subscribers get to my head at all. I look at it, and I was thinking about this the other day.
We're just normal people
I
living
have
this weird normal life.
There's really closer to like probably about 45,000 people actually watch this show, but only 15,000 are subscribed. And the fact that you guys would take the moment to subscribe, and like some of you guys get here early, just, to hear what I have to say.
Sandra,
And a lot
Tyler.
a lot of you guys, even others, and we got people like Tommy are here to help, provide knowledge. Ed here to provide knowledge. I feel like I have 15,000 friends, and, when I get an email from you guys, I don't always answer it right away, but I take the time to give the best answer that I can, because I feel like if you guys are going to give me that time to watch the videos, to participate in these lives, that's the least I can do. So I don't know how I got to this, the saying all that, but thank you guys. I got hello,
okay. Glad you're here.
So that's kind of the way it is. People look, this guy or this lady's just like me, or this couple is just like us. And the only difference is I decided at some point to just say, let me make what was a running joke. And I had this as a joke with some colleagues back at Amtrak, that, I'm going to make a YouTube channel I'm going to call Flippin' Ain't Easy. And they thought it was like a joke. They
thought it was a joke.
And it was a joke until I said, you know what? A year of this reselling full time, and I just kind of felt like there needed to be a voice.
We didn't have the community that we were looking for. We were looking for real people that didn't. I'm looking for the words, but we saw a lot of fake and a lot of do it for the show type of people. We aren't that kind.
Yeah.
And so we're more real than you will ever see on YouTube.
Very real.
Yeah. I mean,
sitting
here in a t-shirt and some sweats.
If you go back to the first 6 months of, the videos that I put out, it was really just me in that room. And I had a room, we had like a 4-bedroom house, and I had one room dedicated. I had shelves up. I had my photo station up. I had my computer desk, and the door was closed. Okay. Jenna was doing her thing.
I wasn't allowed to go in the room.
Yeah, well, you were.
Not when you were filming.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't like it. I didn't like people watching me film, and it took me a long time to even do the live thing, because I make a lot of screw ups on my videos, and sometimes
if you guys let me know in the comments. Do you guys stay till the end to see if there's any of the bloopers? Because I keep telling John that he should do those in the videos, because some of them are the best part of the video.
But, just for the fact that you guys tune in because you are, you want to see what other like-minded or like situation type people are doing, if that makes sense. It's a way to get off of your eBay island. I think a lot of us, it's a very lonely business. You can be doing this 5 days a week, 6, 7 days a week, and you don't have colleagues and coworkers to vent to talk to turn to. It's not the same, especially if you've worked in an office or a work environment where you've had colleagues that you can, vent to and talk to and learn from. And I think this is a way to kind of add to that, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I agree. It's more of a community. We're all doing, very similar things, if not some of the same things, and to be able to bounce the frustrations off of each other, I think is important.
Well, we got Chris. He's aggravated. So yep. He free shipping aggravates me. Nothing like a race to the bottom. And I have some items that are free shipping, but generally it's nothing that's anything more than like 8 ounces. It's like not going to happen. And I'll look and see, does this item generally get sold with or without shipping? And just kind of build it in my price. So you shouldn't be racing to the bottom with free shipping. You should be building it in to the actual price of your item. and or go in and add shipping to what you're trying to make off of that item. I mean, at the end of the day, if someone is doing a search by price, it doesn't matter how you have it set up. They're going to look at the lowest price with shipping or without. See, process is sorry if bit quite working of stuff. Huh?
It's supposed to be quiet.
Well, it says quiet.
I know.
So I understand, Prosser. This is I love listening to live streams because
we
when
listen
you're working,
to them in the background as we work too. So,
what is the actual percentage of your sales? Is this issue 10, 25, 2%? Oh, you're talking about of the people who I guess you're asking if
maybe the
layaway people?
About the layaway people or the like unpaid.
We're talking about the layaway shoppers that don't pay on best offer or whatever. I would say it's probably closer to 2, if anything. It's not a very high percentage, but see, these are, the funny thing is when sales are going great, you don't think of these things. You don't like, oh, I have a couple I need to just repost because this guy or gal didn't pay. And you just kind of it's no big deal. When sales suck and you're just trying to, you have $100 and some odd item that's sold and you're like, come on now. eBay doesn't even count it in your stats until they pay. It's like you notice those things more, if that makes sense. So I hope that's what you're asking. Jimmy D says, longtime eBay seller with the store, getting tired of all the BS of eBay. If you were going to venture and learn an alternative venue, which would you suggest, Poshmark or Mercari? Well, I've always said, if you are leaving eBay, which I don't suggest, but if you're maybe going to add to what you're already doing on eBay, that is, I would say Poshmark for clothing and shoes. Now you can sell other stuff there, but they're known for clothing and shoes.
That's how they started.
So we get a lot of sales on Poshmark lately. Mercari for really everything else. And see, with Mercari, I've noticed that anything that you sell, that let's say you pull out of like an Amazon pallet that has a heavy presence on eBay, like the Chinese sellers or the drop shippers, where you're like this random shelf. I have to compete with thousands of other people selling similar stuff off brand. And it's different on Mercari. I can take that same item and list it on Mercari, and it's going to have a lot more less buyers, but a lot more traction because I have less competition. So that's why when you're looking up comps, and this is kind of the same thing. If you're looking up comps on eBay and you see, oh, wow, this thing sold 100 times in the last 90 days, but then you go over and look, you're up against 100,000 sellers, it's not so great. Okay. But if you've had 10 sales in the last 90, that doesn't seem very good. But if there's only 3 people selling that item, that's a little different. So you just got to keep those things in mind. eBay, yes, they're full of fees, but a lot of those sites like Mercari,
you have fees
Poshmark,
everywhere.
You're going to get hit with close to 20%. And it's just not, you don't have the options to try to keep your fees low. It's just straight across the board like Poshmark. But what I was telling you guys earlier, those stupid shoes that I have, I can list them for 12 and get them for, some people buy them for 12 and sometimes they'll offer me 10 like they did today. I have them for $7.99 on eBay and they don't sell at all. So
no, they do. They do.
We
packaged
sell about
2 of them this morning.
You do.
So they do sell. It's just not as much as they do on Posh. On Posh, they're a hot item, and I don't mind it. I love that. However, eBay, there's a lot more combat boots that can be chosen.
They're Chloe boots.
They're Zoe.
Oh, well, Zoe or Chloe.
Zoe.
Same thing. Mary O says hi from Indiana.
Hi.
Hey, Mary. Tommy says, it doesn't matter, Ed. It's a different clientele. It's flea market clientele. We want buyers, not time waster. My sales are amazing at a single best offer this year. And, that's the thing. If you're killing it on your sales, don't change anything. As is true, but your shoes are immaculate, Tommy. I wouldn't even haggle with that, with the kind you get. The kind I get would haggle. Yeah.
Ed's the haggler.
Blithering
Tommy's the
Rando.
Immaculate.
I got a nice haul on Saturday and made money on it already. So nice start to December.
That's good.
That's it. Getting a good haul is the first part of it.
Yeah.
Tommy says, I spend a lot of time cleaning. Sometimes they look like they come from a swamp. Also, it's Q4. I list very little pre-owned stuff. Q4 is about gift giving. Yes, it is. It is. So you have a lot of different opportunities, and that's just it. I mean, that's what separates one seller from another, is just the type of opportunities you have and the relationships you're able to make with other wholesalers, or, you know, other people who have, you know, like I think Ed goes to a swap meet. You know, he's developed a relationship with someone that's willing to put shoes aside for him. I got to reach out to that lady at that yard sale. She never got back to me with those Jordans, so I need to find out what she's doing. Does she want money or she doesn't?
I don't have high hopes.
Well,
that
I got her number
she-
because she accidentally called me, so I've got to go. Well, if it's still in my, no, I think I added her to my contacts.
I
So
was going to say,
yeah.
you have a new phone.
I added her to my contacts,
Okay.
so that's good. Sweet deal .vip. Bonanza's great. It's doing what it did before. Nothing. It's it was just, I probably won't get more than a sale or two in a year. I don't think. We'll see. You know,
we keep our expectations low.
Yeah, and it didn't take but
and
10
we haven't
minutes.
been disappointed yet.
So let's see. Purple Cactus Sales says, we sell collectibles. Buyers want them and pay almost right away, even with best offer.
Yep.
Let's
That's
see.
like, you know, we have those Elvis plates. I don't know. Did you talk about them on a video?
I bought those at a yard sale.
Well, we have a ton of them, and those are going nicely.
Yeah, I picked up like 20 Elvis plates. They all had Bradford Exchange certificates of authenticity, and I think all but one, like one had a little ding in it.
One has a chip.
Yeah, everything else is fine. We bought them from some guy. It was his wife's collection. She had passed away early in the year, and he was just wanting to get it moved with, and he's like, I'll take 40 for all of it. And it was an Elvis tin that was filled with these plates. You know, they're like padded in between each plate. And so I picked it up from him, and I've probably made about, I think we've sold about 10 of them already, right? Mm-hmm. I think I've sold average sale price like $12 plus shipping. So we've easily made our money and then some on those. So collectibles will sell. I'm not saying that they won't. I mean, I've said in many videos that, you know, this is not the time to be selling collectibles, but collectibles do sell. And some more than others. I'm just saying, and what I've said in other videos, and I think I maybe I failed to make this point, is that if you are a seller that is looking for new things to list, certainly it's not a good idea to just start buying random collectibles like my stupid Beanie Babies that I bought, right? It's not the thing to do. I mean, I got those for pretty much free, so which is why I picked them up. $3 is for all those is nothing. But you know, it's one of those things where if you're looking for new type of merchandise to sell, then I would say look at the needs over the wants. But if you're an established seller, you have an idea of what you're doing, you have if you have a firm understanding of your market for what you're selling, then why would you listen to what I have to say? You know more about that than I do. So hopefully that clears that up, because every time I talk about the need versus want, I get a lot of people that are like, I'm tearing it up right now and I'm doing great in sales. And, you know, it's like, I think you just didn't really or maybe I just failed to present what I was thinking. But that's what I mean. There's a lot of people out there that turn to these channels and they're just looking for an idea. Get me started. Where do I go to buy stuff that's going to sell? These gold necklaces that I've been selling aren't selling. So what do I do? What can I do differently? Well, and I say gold because, you know, the price of gold, you know, it'd be nuts if you're trying to sell them for $10 on eBay. I'm talking about the stuff that's colored gold, and you're trying to actually get something different. That's the person I'm speaking to. Anything that I say, and I say this a lot, anything that I say is really for those people who just are looking for something new. If you're killing it, keep doing what you're doing. Brought to you by,
if you're killing it, we're just here to entertain you.
in fact, if you're killing it, you should be telling me what the hell. And that's the thing.
Maybe you should have a YouTube channel.
Well, that might be why they're killing it. They're not putting all that time into YouTube.
No, that's true.
Because there's time involved in YouTube.
That is true.
But I enjoy doing it. So brought to you by says, I have to remind myself often that it's easy to misinterpret the tone of an email. My kindness, though, is determined by the reaction and or how big I goofed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. I agree.
Yep. There's many times that tone is, sometimes you'll see a message or a text message from someone. And you're like, wow, that was rude, but they weren't trying to be rude.
Yeah.
No Agenda 77 says, hey guys, I went full-time a couple of years ago. It definitely is a world full of ups and downs. Yes.
Yes, it is. It's highs and
but
lows.
I don't have the stress that I'd have like running my own department and having just some random manager who's not even over you. I was a supervisor and had a manager to report to, breathing down your neck just to start trouble. That was something that I had to put up with. And then this is something I talked to, getting at one point sexually harassed by somebody and reporting it and basically being
told to shut up.
Well, not really shut up. They didn't believe me. And even though it's all I don't want to get into that now, but it was just bad. And I'm glad that I don't have to put up with that stuff anymore. So, and yeah, man, like this guy, this other mug.
This guy was harassed by another woman.
Yeah, well. So it is what it is.
Anywho.
And somebody be like, yeah, I'd enjoy that. No,
it was not appropriate in the least.
Mm-hmm. So that's that. So let's see. Brought to you by, as I remind myself, we already said that. Biff says, I was an executive chef until COVID shut down restaurants. I started reselling full time, and I'm trying my hardest not to return to the kitchen life.
But if you're a chef, is it something that you love to do, or do you just like to do it for yourself now or your family?
Damon D. Big Dog says, if you don't like snow, Florida is the place. Never seen snow in my life, but it's a humid thing.
Humid. That's my problem. I would move to Florida in a heartbeat. However, that humidity, that'll knock me out.
And those rainstorms, those thunderstorms that pop up out of nowhere.
And my mom would probably die of a heart attack every time there's a hurricane.
Ed says, I can't say I despise my job. It's convenient and been there 11 years, good schedule and freedom to do whatever I want. It's really the only reason why I'm able to resell. Yeah, I mean, my first, 10 years working at my last job, I was working a 6 p.m. to 2:30 in the morning shift. And
he had little kids.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but it's
little
what it was.
Kids.
When you have seniority and you're in a specialty department and you're not in management yet, actually management's worse because you got to do what you don't have the union protection once you get there. But Picky Ricky says, I started eBay penniless 3 years ago.
Proud of you, guy.
Let's see.
That's
Trina says, I don't understand how Bonanza makes any money. Nobody's ever said they killed it there. How the heck do they stay in business? I don't know. It's sort of like,
we're wondering the same thing.
And I don't want to get sued, but there's a mattress store. It's not soft, but I'll let you guys finish the title. It's kind of a running joke.
There are so many on every corner.
In here, California and Vegas.
And here in Nevada.
And there's nobody over there.
There's nobody buying these mattresses. So how do they stay in business?
Yeah. And so I don't know. Maybe it's like those Beanie Babies. Maybe it's just the money laundering
thing. We'll see. I mean, we haven't even gotten any kind of, you can't it's not like that kind of a platform, but I don't know. We'll see.
Let's see.
My hopes are not high.
Purple Fox says, I was similar to you guys, sales, call center background, made redundant 2019, then decided to go full-time eBay for myself, learning as I went.
Oh, good for you.
Made all the usual mistakes, but the better quality of life with the freedom for time with family when I want, not when the boss tells me I can.
Yes.
You know, it's like this. When you're working as an agent, we call them agents in the call center. You actually had a schedule, like let's say an 8-hour schedule. You had a 15-minute break, a 30-minute lunch, and a 15-minute break, and like 2 hours, like 2 to 3 hours in between, depending on your schedule. And you're required to be on the phone 97.2% of the time that you were there, from the time you clocked in to the time you clocked out, not counting your breaks. 97.2%. That means if you get up and go to the bathroom, something happens, that's going to hurt your day, because it's only like 6 minutes is what it boils down to for the whole shift.
Yeah, it was rough.
And so that is stressful to people. And, you know, of course, that's kind of a good mentality to have when you're selling on eBay, to keep yourself accountable. But I mean, geez, if you have to go to the bathroom, right? Let's say you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you don't have to worry about that. Tommy says Obama hooked him up. $500 a month for family. Got the 24 karat gold plan. Cost me $8K per year, all in unlimited healthcare. And that's, what is it called? The Affordable Healthcare Act?
Affordable
Yeah.
Healthcare.
Awesome. No Agenda 77. Fortunately for me, I'm a vet, so I do get free healthcare.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you. And it shows you how far I'm behind, right?
Yes, you are.
We were just talking about healthcare, so let's get through some of these. Biff says, compared to running a kitchen, eBay feels like retirement. Mary says, who's your pick was a Las Vegan but couldn't take the heat? Yeah, this is like a dry heat. It gets really miserable in the summer, though.
It's just hot.
No Agenda 77 question: when and why did you start letting your store public? I remember for the longest time you were very protective of letting anyone know.
It wasn't a protection thing. It was more of, we wanted it to be organic buyers.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a lot of people who buy from the store. If you guys want to go and buy stuff right now, it's not going to upset me. I'm happy to do it. And it kind of makes me smile when someone leaves a positive feedback and says something about the show. But at the time, it was like, look, I wasn't very, I mean, I had maybe like 6,000 or 7,000 subs at most. And it was, I didn't think I was going to get any traction. I mean, I'm not Shed Flips. I'm not going to get the kind of following, or at least at the time, I wasn't thinking I was going to get the kind of following that they have, to where, you know, hey, I've got all this, let's play a little eBay bingo. And for me, I wanted to have a organic, I want to run my store. I want to know by looking at my traffic reports that it's real buyers and not just people looking to see what was going on with my store. But as time went on, I kept talking about different subjects, but it was harder and harder to hide. You know, people could always go on and find, if they wanted to. If I show an item and you see the title, all you got to do is take that title and go in the last 90 days and, oh, that's him, you know. So you can only hide for so long, and I really have nothing to hide, really.
We don't have anything to hide.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the raw, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We are just as real live, recorded, or no camera at all. We are the same people.
And I guess it lends some credibility. You know, I could get on here without an eBay store, and
we like to write happy notes when you guys buy from us.
Yeah.
I asked Mike.
Yeah. A lot of people like to say, what is this guy doing? And if they, you know, you can go onto my store and see something that, oh, you know what? I haven't thought about that. Let me try that, or whatever. Or maybe it just confirms that you're doing everything that maybe you should be doing. Then, hey, and I'm not, I gotta tell you, there's some things that I don't do perfectly either. I get up here and I'll say stuff, and I mean to, like my listings, I want them to be a certain way. And sometimes they're not always that certain way, because I'll go in and make a quick listing and I'll come back and edit the listing. So, but this channel is about talking about ways, best practices. Let's just put it that way. And exploring with you guys what works for you, what works for us, right? Learning from each other. It's kind of it's a community type of environment. So that's kind of what it's about. Purple cactus sales. I've always been self-employed before Obamacare. Paid $2,000 a month for health insurance, even Obamacare insurance at $800. We've got a sale. Yeah, that wasn't you guys. It was me. I got a sale. Let's see. So yeah, it's it just really it's just a scam as far as I'm concerned. This whole thing where you're paying thousands of dollars a month, or actually thousands of dollars a year, just for the protection of financial ruin. I mean, if you're really bad shape, I mean, chances are you're going to be hurt financially. Say someone gets hospitalized and they can't go back to work for 6 months, they're going to be at a bad spot anyway when they get out of the hospital. Not to mention what, that they're still going to owe after they have to pay like the first 5,000 out of pocket, and then their cut of the 30, 20, 30% of whatever it is of the bill. So um, to me, the math, it's going to make life a lot harder to have to come out of pocket that $800 to $1,000 a month. And that's just not in the cards. Attractive metal designs is when your kid's saying, I like my dad back. It's time to give up a job and take their pension after 26 years. It's now going full time as a reseller in the new year, and my house mortgage is going up next year. Yeah.
Is pay up next year.
Yeah, the mortgage is going up, and that's like our son. He's I think he had bought a brand new house like 4 years ago, right? And earlier this year it went up like $400 or $500. Is that right? And just the way things are, and it sucks. I mean, that extra $400 or $500 you have a month to have fun with, you're no longer having fun with it. It's going to the mortgage. Chris K, hey guys, do you always have a business eBay account, or did you upgrade that at some point? What made you upgrade? You know what's weird? I haven't revisited it, but about 1.5 years ago, eBay couldn't even tell me if my account was a business or a personal account. It's like it's been
a
screwed
very
up.
strange store.
Yeah. And which probably is why I have 2 billion B with a bill, 2 billion with a B listings that I can list if I wish.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's broken.
He has a very bizarre account.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's ever changed. I didn't pursue it. I didn't really care. But
as long as we can keep making money on it, I don't really care.
Yeah, they still send me my 1099s and all's good. So now I think that my account was probably a personal account for many, many years, and I don't know what changed. Maybe my activity changed it or whatever, but I've had this particular account, I think, since 2007, and I had an account before that that I had with another friend that was from 2002 to 2007. So,
well, you can also answer it based on Hot Desert.
That one was 2017, I think.
Well, I know. I don't care about the year. What I think they're trying to ask is what made you upgrade. Our upgrade on the Hot Desert Deals account, the second account that we were using, was based on the listings. We had so many listings in there, and it wasn't cost effective, or it would have been cost effective to be able to list more on that store.
So Picky Ricky was naughty today. I picked up a Kenwood amplifier last week for 15 pounds, but I tested it earlier and PhonoJack was shady. So I sold it to cash converters for 35 pounds instead of walking back to the charity. So you're able to, scrap it? Wonder if that's what you did. That's awesome. I mean, heck, if you did it, that's a flip. You did $20 flip.
A flip's a flip.
Tony resells. Hi everyone. Little late. Well, thanks.
Hi,
Better late than never. I Augusto, I should have known that a person was a sharper when they asked me to take a picture of the shoes next to a pineapple. He never made a purchase. That's weird.
That is strange.
You meant a shopper, not a sharper. But maybe they wanted that pair of shoes. Okay, maybe they were drop shipping, or maybe they just had the same pair of shoes, but they didn't have the pineapple. And they're using it for that? No. I don't know. It's hard to understand.
That would have been a huge red flag.
Have you ever done wholesale? I've sourced in all the way imaginable, but having another sourcing method like wholesale would be great. Just call me Wargs, by the way. Okay, Wargs. No, we've gone to the what is it, ASD conventions, and they're full of wholesalers, but it's not really great merchandise. I mean, we
It's
didn't.
not good merchandise and it's not good pricing.
Yeah.
All in all, it was, I mean, of course, we haven't researched it any further than that, but what we saw there, no.
To be honest with you, I'll still go every year to ASD, not for the wholesale opportunities, but for the CBD. You get good deals
So
there
will
on
I.
CBD. Now, like the gummies, like if you like have suffer from pain, she has migraines that she deals with, and of
our
course,
dog has severe anxiety. And so we give him
they have doggy CBD.
CBD for him especially during 4th of July when the fireworks are going off and New Year's. And so he appreciates the CBD.
Chris K says on eBay, can you select different payment terms per item? You can, in the sense of, will you require them to pay immediately? Or there's like a little, when you go set up your policies, it'll have a little button saying require immediate payment. And you would want one that's unchecked if you're dealing with auctions, or if you just don't care. Maybe there's a number of different kinds of sellers that have repeat buyers, and one where, look, I'll sell this item, but I know they're going to ask to like ship they're going to want to shop and buy multiples. So if you require immediate payment, then it's just going to screw it all up for them, because they're going to have to pay for each one individually. So if you have a policy set up that allows them to just pay when they're ready, which is not clicking on that immediate payment box, then maybe you have some items where you allow them to pay whenever, and some that you want immediate payment on. Like auctions, you have to have it set up without that box checked. Just a resellers of the house. What's up? Thanks for hanging out with us today. Random Florida Adventures. How can I stay motivated? I'm hanging on a thread as a top-rated seller, but lost my motivation. Well, you got to look at it like this. You got to look at, is this the way I make my living? What happens if I decide to just take a break, watch TV, watch movies, and not work today?
Go fishing. He likes to fish.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I want to go fishing today, right? And you want to be able to go fishing, and you want to be able to afford everything. For me, it's like your hobbies, right? So whatever the hobbies is, going fishing, it's focusing on being able to take care of everything, all the necessities, so that you don't feel bad about going fishing, right? For me, it's like tonight, I go bowling, right? I don't want to feel bad about doing that. Want to feel like that's something I earned. It's kind of a reward for myself for the effort that I put in for the week. Every so often I'll go hit the ball, play golf, I'm more hitting the ball than playing golf, but it gives me something to look forward to. Now, by all means, if you have tons of money in the bank and you can do what you want to do, just resell whenever and make that kind of work for you. It all depends on your situation, but
your motivation comes from your situation.
I think so.
I truly believe that. If your situation is dire and you need to make money, then you're going to be a lot more motivated to make sure that you have the money to put food on the table. However, if you don't have that situation and you're just using it as a means to keep you busy during the day, then you're not going to stay motivated unless there's a real need for that income.
And I got to tell you that for me, I've faced a bout of not being motivated as a reseller when I was part-time, and it kind of, we'd buy like a random. I even bought a bulk pallet back in 2018 when I didn't know any better. That kind of demotivated me, because it's like, here I am trying to just make back what I bought this stupid pallet for. And that's not motivating at all when you realize, wow, I can't make anything on this. And it kind of got me in the mindset of maybe I need to start selling things that I enjoy selling or I'm familiar with. So for you, it could be like fishing lures or tackle and things like that. If you could find someone that's sourcing that, look for that kind of thing at yard sales or whatever, to maybe bring the joy back for you.
Yeah.
But if you're doing this full time, you just got to look at it like it's either this or I got to go get a job. And now I can tell you I could sell everything, and I just enjoy it. I get up in the morning, and by the time you know it, it's like it's time to eat dinner, and then I get done with dinner, and it's like, I'm in the mood to list. I'm in the mood to work. I'm in the mood to do
a
stuff.
second wind.
Yeah, and so
sometimes a third.
I'll come home from bowling, and it's like, okay, let's get the shipping done, so I don't have to mess with it tomorrow. So that's kind of I just know that that's my life, and you gotta accept it. And I think sometimes some of us, we don't accept it, and so we lose motivation. We stop listing, we stop messing with our account for a couple days, and then eBay sees the lack of activity, and it just kind of compounds and it hurts your account. So
yeah, you got to find the joy in it again, which means for most people it means to go out and source what you like. John likes electronics. There's a lot of things I like.
I'll always gravitate towards electronics when I'm going to a yard sale or whatever. I think that's the first thing I look for, even though I probably should be looking at other stuff. It just, I'm always looking at that next gadget. I like gadgets. So
he is a gadget guy.
Let's see. Blithering Rando says, here's a way to get more eyes on obscure items. Try to find a forum on that kind of hobby or subject. I've made some sales by finding my audience like that if I had a niche. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But see, like I'm going to talk about them again. I know that I promised you guys I probably wouldn't talk about them again, but those patches and badges, those military memorabilia, I mean, I thought it was kind of cool to learn about it, but I didn't care enough to go in and hang out with the people who really enjoyed that stuff. I just wanted to learn to make my listing a lot easier and understand it, learn about what I'm selling, but not to the point where because it takes time. You go into those forums and you read and you post, and you could be doing other things with your time. Let's see.
There's his answer. Yes, I am coming up on my 5th year after 8-year
hiatus. I used to sell my eBay back in 2002 to 2005.
It is a different world. It is a totally different world.
Yeah. I remember the days back at that time where you can get like money orders and stuff like that in the mail, and that was a hot mess. It was the wild west of reselling, I can tell you that. Eddie Estrada says, junk crap. I think most of us feel that way about our stock. If it's something we like, we wouldn't be selling it. Well, like for instance,
Picky Ricky.
What?
No, that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Picky Ricky's, I'm a short, bald guy who scrubs a few Etsy shoes each week, or eBay shoes each week.
I told you were going to get
So Tommy says, Blue Dawn, a brushless 12-volt Milwaukee drill with hard bristles, game over. It's funny because I just got through selling. I used
the Blue Dawn.
I just got through selling one of those kits that you put onto your
drill.
Yeah, your drill. Oh, well. I guess I'll just have to keep my eye out for that.
Well,
but we'll try this kit.
We just bought this kit. So
let's see. No One Design. Oh, you're with us today.
You're here.
You've been using the wrong bald short guy to clean. Wow. That's just wrong. Prosser says, I'm also separating items such as vintage on Etsy clothing and shoes on Depop, and vintage some larger items on Marketplace. And then Tommy says the bald short guy makes it look.
Guy.
I think he meant short guy. Makes it look easy. He's under the shoe cleaning it. I mean, if you ever go to that site and like watch that guy, he's like, they have it on super fast video, but he's scrubbing away, and it's like, man, I'm sure it's a lot easier. It looks a lot easier than it actually is, but he sold me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, you don't know how much I've saved on haircuts. No One Design. John trying to use the fat, hairy guy. He does good work. No, I know Agenda 77 says this is exactly on them thinking they got a steal. I had a customer message me on a watch that was listed for $41.79. They asked if I could go down to $39.99. Oh, sure. Yeah. I
Wow.
love the ones that offer you.
Yeah.
You have it for like $40 and they offer you like 37. And I'm like, okay,
Okay.
fine.
Well, that was the Poshmark thing this morning. They only offered me $3 lower, and I was like, yeah.
And then Adam loves the Trash to Cash podcast. That's Carrie's podcast.
Yeah.
Tommy says, in my opinion, best offers is way different clientele. I associate them with the flea market shoppers. We want buyers with money. They need to beat us down on a good price. They shouldn't be spending the money.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're right. Don't underestimate yourself. You're adorable. There you go.
Oh, thank you, Kate.
Ed says, I found your channel by accident, John, but I'm glad I found it. We're glad that
We're happy you found it.
Yeah, Ed. Glad
like
that
Ed.
you I can hang out with you on the lives and reach out to you and pick your brain about stuff, random stuff. T-Town Trekker says, just logged into my phone and got a pop-up message that the eBay server is down. What the heck? No, I don't know how long ago that was. Let's see. I don't know. There's multiple servers, so that's different. Savage Pickers in the house arrived late, had car troubles. I think as a general rule, if you arrive late, you have to hit the like button to make it okay.
Yes, let's go.
Hit that like button,
Like
guys.
buttons.
We're going to go for about another 10, 15 minutes.
Wait,
Hopefully I can
did
catch
the
up.
mail lady come?
No, of course not. The dogs would have been freaking out.
Oh, true.
You know, I'm sure if she did come, she saw that big Santa bag in front of the door and just said, oh, I'll turn around and go now.
Yeah.
So she never
I
comes
meant
on a
to
Monday.
ask her
What was it? When did she come last week? Was it Thursday?
I don't know.
I don't know what day it was, but I meant to ask her. So do you just pick a random day during the week to come?
What kills me is when they click the button that says that they came here and picked up and they never came.
And
That drives
nobody
me
ever
nuts.
came.
Shirley says, has anyone had any glitches with eBay? A few of my buyers who accepted an offer had trouble paying for it. I had to send an invoice, which remedied the glitch. One of my buyers paid for the item 3 times.
Oh.
You know, I don't know. I know that I always send invoices with the people who buy from me. So that wasn't
It's
it.
always a possibility. There's always eBay glitches somewhere.
Trina says, John's great, but I guarantee we don't have to explain to him why everyone adores Jenna.
Oh,
That's real nice.
that's sweet.
Thank you.
Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. Ping Juice says, I use best offer on a very few of my listings because the price is usually already discounted. I do offer 10% off to watchers, but not these past 2 weeks, and those items are selling.
That's wonderful.
Random Florida Adventure says, when we all band together and contest the practice of factoring tax, shipping costs into final value fees, I think it's not right. But the problem is you can get a group of, let's just say everyone who's watching this, we have 110 people watching right now. Say we all decided one day, you know what, we're going to stop selling on eBay because we don't agree with the fees. Well, there's going to be another, 2 million people who are going to benefit from that. All those sales are going to go that way, and eBay isn't going to bat an eye. Unfortunately, it's going to take much more than anyone on this channel just deciding to, protest eBay. It's eBay sandbox. And let me just say, there's a lot of things, and I've said this before, but there's a lot of things that eBay does that aggravate me. Them charging us fees on taxes collected, it doesn't aggravate me. Because, and the reason why is the alternative is they could have come to us and said, hey, you guys are each going to have to pay for your own subscription to a service. I think it's called TaxJar, where you have to upload, or maybe they have a link. You can link your eBay account. I don't know how that thing works, but you're responsible for the 35 plus whatever states that charge sales tax. You have to keep track of every state that your buyers have paid from, and keep that money aside. And every quarter, you're going to have to send money in to these states. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble. I don't know what the penalty is, but look, can you just think of just even having to deal with one state, how much time that's going to take away from your reselling? So look, it's not honest. In my opinion, it's not honest quite that they're doing it, but it's better than the alternative. So it's like that. It's like the shakedown. It's like the mafia shakedown, right? You pay $200, a month for our protection, or you don't have the protection, and it's a bad analogy, I know, but it's still, I'm fine with it. Let me put it that way. Let's see. No Agenda 77. I think I've subscribed for almost 2 years. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Certainly do. Let's see.
John is a movie star now.
No, I'm not a movie star. I'm just a general old dude that wants to come and talk to you guys every few days. Process that we need the bloopers reel. I'll try to include some of those.
Well, somebody else had sent it too. Ed said it. The bloopers were funny. Yeah.
If I find them somewhat amusing, but yeah.
You should see sometimes when he edits these videos, he'll have me go through the video. And I just can't with him sometimes because he's so funny.
Citizen says, my free shipping is actually the cost rolled into the selling price, not a race to the bottom at all. It entices buyers more because they think they're getting a better. Yeah, it's just perception. It's manipulation. Sales is a form of manipulation. If you're doing it right, you're allowing your buyer to believe or feel good about what they're buying from you. And sometimes, like we say, okay, well, how's a manipulation? Okay, I'll give you an example. Someone that says, okay, I'm going to give a 20% discount on my store, but I'm going to up my prices by 20% before I offer that discount. Well, you just manipulated that. So now the buyer believes they're getting a 20% discount when the price hasn't really changed. So it's making that buyer believe they're getting a better deal than, before. Bling bling factor, Australia. I live in a small rural area. I hate that word. Not many people doing this, so it's good to see what is going on out in the eBay world. Helps keep me sane and motivated. I watch the more genuine YouTube peeps. So thanks for doing that. I appreciate you. Noah Design says, quick question, John, does Jenna know about Festus? She doesn't. She knows now.
What is Festus? And
oh boy,
don't acknowledge them. No, they've already been blocked.
It's still there.
No,
okay.
They're not.
Okay, it's still on my feed.
Watching.
Okay. Well, I don't know. My
Festus?
dad had said he was going to name me Festus, and my mom, I don't know.
What? Why am I just now learning about this?
Because you don't watch my videos.
I watch.
My wife doesn't watch my videos, and she actually watched that video to give me a critique before I put it out.
Video?
The one with the cowboy that was freaking out at the end. Remember that one?
The Bonanza?
I forgot how it goes. Huh?
The Bonanza?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that comment. Anyway, that'll be a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
Festus. Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
I don't know how serious my dad was. Maybe he was joking with me, but he did say that.
Your dad was a pretty fun guy.
Mark says Jenna is the best. She can do the show without you. You can go away and leave to her. I'm leaving.
Thank you, Mark, but no. He's the brains of the operation.
There's not much brains here. This is Festus talking.
I just bring a little more lightheartedness. That's all.
Easy case in point. You calculate shipping at $5.50. The eBay shipping discount comes at $4.25, but eBay actually charged you upfront the original shipping into the final value fee. Yeah. The eBay shipping discount comes to $4.25. Yeah. But what do you do with the rest of it? You can apply the rest of it towards those fees. You can apply the rest of it towards supplies, because let's say it's a $10 item. I mean, that difference in $1.25, you're probably going to be able to pay the fees with on that sale. Relic resells. How are the tamales? They're off the hook. We actually had to freeze them.
Amazing. I actually just took some out of the freezer this morning so I could have them when he goes bowling.
Yeah. So, they're awesome to have. And they're just a lot of work putting them together.
Yeah.
One thing I do well is cook. Unfortunately, it ruins my experience when I go out to eat, unfortunately.
Although you had a really good steak last night. Or prime rib.
I could do better than that, but it was good.
Okay, I was wrong.
Relic resells. By the way, lots of non-paying sales from best offers. Almost all of them don't pay. It's anyone else having the same problem. Yeah. Check out my video I put out this
we
week.
had a streak of them last week.
eBay's layaway
We're
program.
down to 1 on the layaway program now.
Let's see. Shirley says some of those non-paying buyers may be shoppers, may be having a hard time paying for the item. Had 3 different customers messaging me saying eBay wouldn't let them pay. Some buyers might not bother with reaching out. But that's just it. I mean, look, communication. If you're trying to buy something, why not reach out?
That is a good point. However, reach out to us. I mean,
it's
let us know.
Yeah,
because we send an invoice and we put a message. It's a personal message. It's not like we're saying it coming from a here buyer. Your payment is due, and that's it. We put a nice personal note in there. It's not to make it more personalized. They can. I just would hope that we opened up the door of communication.
Suzanne A says, I wish I was killing it. The mad scientist says, I'm killing it, but you're entertaining. So you also have some good advice. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Tommy says, we try, John, but you don't like to make left turns. I'm told you won't leave your lane. Yeah, I will. I just won't go with him to buy storage units like he likes. So
he will leave his lane in his own time.
When I've seen enough evidence,
of it to make that turn. Let me tell you, the yard sale thing is prime example. He did not like going yard sailing. And now what does he do? Every Saturday he goes out yard sailing.
And some days, like Sundays, I'll try to go. I'm like, ooh, is there a yard sale on Friday? I'm like, dang it, I didn't know. There's a couple. We still have a lot of yard sales out here. Lisa says,
you missed it on the mattress.
Okay. They are like that in my job in the call center, and I have a medical condition where I need to go more. I want to go full-time selling as soon as I can. But the grass is almost always greener. No One Design says crackheads need mattresses too. Yes, but I don't even see those people in there.
No, there's go to Kate. Kate's right underneath. She said the same thing.
Furniture stores have been a front for nefarious businesses forever.
Yes, they have.
Crafty Girl, there are 2 of these mattress stores in the same parking lot in the town next to me in California.
Wow.
How are they allowed to put one up when they already had one? How did they stay in biz?
We wonder the same
If you ever seen Breaking Bad and the Pollo Hermanos, that whole thing. If you watch Breaking Bad, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Sandra says, I have followers who I always know will pay. Non-payers will have been on eBay for just a short time. Damn scammers take my item and no one gets to see them until I cancel.
Exactly. Yeah. It drives me crazy.
Suzanne says, if Banana doesn't have insertion fees, could someone use that to back up eBay listings in case something happens to your eBay stores? If you get a sale, great. But I think if something happens to your eBay store, it also links up with what's going on in Bonanza.
Yes, that is true.
So, Monchaloon, how's it going? Thanks for hanging out with us. I did answer. Even though I answered your email, I believe I answered. No, the comment that you left on one of the lives. I did talk about that earlier. So if you're just joining us, go check it out. Let's see. Tommy says, back in the day, if you ever made a Shopify account, it would unlock the store and give you the unlimited package. $2 billion or items.
Say what? Back in the day, if you ever made a sweater.
Well, I swear, if you unlocked it, you wouldn't be selling right now if you had $2 billion. Troy says,
you wouldn't see me anymore.
I buy quite a lot of stuff on eBay. I've always wondered if that affects your algorithm as a seller. I don't know. They'll never tell us the things that we do.
Who knows what affects it and what doesn't? It's all a blind shoot.
Yeah. Let's see if I can kind of get down here.
Yeah,
I'm way down, way behind, like 20 minutes. So let's see if we can get, because I want to spend a few more minutes and then I got to get out of here.
He has to go to the post office.
Yes. Tiffany says, I love the thrill of searching and finding an item that is something of valuable to someone else. Once picked up a walnut diorama of a mariachi band for 33 cents and sold it for 125 bucks. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome. Suzanne, this is my only non-paying bidder, contacted me telling me he found it cheaper elsewhere with free shipping. And it was reported that the buy it now button just disappeared a few days ago. Never saw that. One thing I do want to tell you guys about is, did you guys notice when you go to your orders, under all orders, that instead of now, if you want to go back to see like, oh, I sold an item like months ago, just kind of curious what it sold for, something should pop up. It says new increased access to your order history. You can now view orders for the past 2 years versus the past 90 days, giving you access to additional data to complete important tasks. So that's awesome. This is something that should have been here for a long time, whereas like Terra Peak had that information, but we didn't. So kudos to eBay for that. Something I want to look into. But go to your, it says period last 90 days, but you do the drop box. You can do custom. You have to go to custom. I mean, you can do this year. It'll show you everything you did this year. But that's, I think, an awesome tool that you can use to see what you're doing. Because, you know, just to look at something for, you know, to 90 days at a time, it doesn't really give you an idea.
It's taking a long time to load.
Yeah. So I've sold 2,093 items this year. So that's awesome. I've never seen that before, but I thought I'd share that with you. That's a new thing.
And thank you to all the mods. We appreciate you cleaning up the chat.
Yeah. But thank you guys for watching the show. If you've you know, made it this far with us, thank you guys. We love dealing with you guys and talking with you guys every, you know, at least once a week, if not two. But we'll try to have Jenna on more often.
I'm one time a week.
She'll be on Friday. Why not? So with that said, thank you guys for being here. And, you know, the mindset of a seller, if you're serious, it has to change. You have to put your feelings aside. Stop feeling bad that you're running your business the same for this buyer than you would for this other, well, I say shopper, this shopper versus this shopper. And hopefully you can convert them into buyers. But yet it's just another example of how sometimes
flipping ain't easy.
And we will talk to you guys very soon.
Bye.